Hey friends, it's Rish and welcome back to another episode of Adventures with Rish and Mom Plus One. Welcome to Mom and Dad Mondays, and I have a whole bunch of information for you guys. If you are getting ready for a natural birth, do not skip through this video. You're going to want all these tips and tricks, everything I use to get to 30 hours of labor and 45 minutes of pushing my beautiful sunshine out. If you're new here, go ahead and like and subscribe, and welcome to the Adventure family. We hope you stick with us. Without further ado, let's hop into this video. So if you guys didn't watch my labor and delivery vlog, you guys don't know that I was actually induced at 42 and a half weeks. For my next delivery, or when I have my next child, I hope that I'm not induced, but I still chose to go ahead with a natural birth, even though a bunch of people were telling me, no, the Pitocin's gonna make it way worse. You're gonna want an epidural if you're getting induced. But I promise you that if you are getting induced, or if you do go into labor naturally and you decide to opt out of getting the epidural, it is okay. You are going to make it. You can do this, and it's totally doable. But more than ever, I urge you guys to be prepared if the natural birth route is something that you want. So this is all the things I did to get prepared, to prepare for my natural birth, and I am here today to help you guys. Okay, number one on the list of things to do to prepare for your natural birth is ask a lot of questions at your doctor's appointment. Don't be afraid to ask what your labor and delivery is going to look like, especially if your birth plan, doesn't necessarily go as planned. We're going to talk about the birth plan a little bit later. So yes, don't be afraid to ask your doctors literally any question that you have about your labor. Your doctor's job is to serve you and to make sure that you're having the best health experience possible. Okay, so they do this every day. They're doctors, so they're seeing women who are having children all the time. They're not necessarily thinking about every single question that you may have. So it's your responsibility to go in there with a list of questions that you and your partner, or whoever your birth partner is, it's important for you and whoever your birth partner is to go and ask lots of questions at the doctor's appointment so that they can equip you with all the tools you need to have a successful natural birth with them. And don't forget that every hospital, birthing center, or if you decide to have your baby at home, every location has different stipulations as to what you can and can't do. For instance, when I was in the hospital for my labor, they did not let me walk around. They wanted me to lay in the bed the entire time during my induction because, with the medications, they have to monitor the baby. That is something that I did not know. If I had known that, I may have maybe have considered having her at another location, because a part of my birth plan was to be able to walk around, bounce on a ball, rock back and forth, just have movement going during my labor process. But I wasn't able to do that because of the location. If I had asked those questions beforehand, I would have known that that wasn't something that I would be able to do. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Number two is to rest up. Okay, I know you're at the end, you're probably anywhere between 30 to 40 weeks and you're just ready to go, and you're, ready to have the baby. And sometimes our sleep schedules get a little crazy at the end of pregnancy. I know for me that I used to wake up every day at 4 a.m. with Braxton Hicks, and that's actually the same time that she wakes up for a bottle now. So I had to end up taking more naps in the daytime because I wasn't necessarily getting enough sleep. And boy, am I happy that I did that, because you're gonna need that rest. Okay, it's called labor for a reason. You're gonna use up all the energy that you don't even know you have, energy in your reserve tank to push this baby out and to keep yourself pushing and to keep yourself, from not getting so exhausted. It's an exhausting process. Contractions are exhausting, pushing is exhausting. So rest up, because you will need that rest. Okay, at the end of your pregnancy, or even throughout your entire pregnancy, get as much rest as your body and your situation allows you to get. Number three on the list is to do your research. Yes, your doctor is responsible for, your health. Have some responsibility in going to a situation, especially birth, armed with information. You don't ever want to go into a situation where the person in the room or the doctor in the room room is using terminology that you don't know when it comes to your body and when it comes to the baby. Okay, I'm not talking about tools or, medical equipment, none of that stuff. I'm talking about knowing what effacement is. I'm talking about knowing what dilation is. I'm talking about know the 3 steps of labor, okay? You need to know these things. You need to know what they're talking about when it comes to your body, and you need to know what the next steps are going to be if you aren't able to get this baby naturally. What is a C-section going to look like for you? So do your research. Go in there armed with information. I did so much research at the end of my pregnancy. I wanted to know absolutely everything that could happen while I was in labor, and so I definitely recommend that you go in armed with information. Look up as much, she's getting jealous because I'm talking to the camera and not her. Look up as much things as you can and be prepared with all the information that you can find on the internet. The internet, watch other women's experiences, research on what other women's labor experiences are like, positive experiences, because you want to go in with all positivity, no negativity. Yes, you want to be ready in case of an emergency, but that is not, your mind should not be on the negative, okay? Your mind should be on the positive, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later as well. Tip number 4 is get your mental right, okay? You want to go into your labor and delivery situation expelling all fear. If you're a first-time mom, you have never labored before. You don't know what that's going to be like. So what are you fearing? Why are you fearing something that you have never been through, you've never experienced? Go into it with a clear mind. Go into it knowing that you are capable, you are strong, your body is meant to do this. And what helped me get into that mindset was definitely practicing hypnobirthing. I would recommend hypnobirthing to anybody, even though Corona is happening, and I imagine the experience would be like me going in with a bunch of other women and learning different techniques. I had to use the internet to learn what hypnobirthing was, to learn the breathing techniques to use, to learn how to center my mind during labor, to understand that every contraction is there for a purpose. And my body is not, trying to hurt me on purpose. Everything has a goal. The harder the contractions get, the closer you are to seeing your beautiful baby. So yes, I would recommend hypnobirthing, and I recommend getting your mental right. Meditate. I took a social media break at the end of my pregnancy because I didn't want to think about anything else but preparing for her. So I would recommend that. Make sure you're in the right headspace so that birth is not traumatizing for you no matter what happens. It can be a beautiful experience, even with it being uncomfortable and painful, okay? So yes, I would definitely recommend getting your mental right. Prepare your mind, because this is going to be one of the hardest things you've ever done in your whole life, one of the most beautiful and hardest things you've ever done. So definitely get that mind right before you go into labor. Number 5 is practice and know how to breathe. I can't even express to you all how important knowing how to breathe is. That can literally be the difference between you getting through your labor calmly and you having an anxiety attack during these very, very, very tough contractions, okay? So know how to breathe, know how to do purposeful breathing when the pain gets hard, so you can distract your mind, and know how to breathe through your pushing. So you're pushing to your butt and not pushing necessarily out of your vagina. But you guys have to do the research. If you guys want me to do a breathing video, I can do that. I'm more than happy to do that, because breathing helped me so much through every stage of labor, but especially the pushing point, okay? Because you don't want to rip, and a great way to not rip is having control of your pushing and not just pushing all willy-nilly. Pushing purposefully and pushing the proper way, doing the proper breathing. So learn your breathing techniques, because it's going to help you out a whole lot if you want to do a natural birth. Number 6 is stretch and walk. My legs were pushed so far up to my shoulders, they were pushed so far up to my side while I was laboring. So I am so happy that in the end of my pregnancy, I did not stop doing soft yoga and stretching and getting my body right and doing my ball. Because you don't know how you're going to labor. You don't know what position you're going to end up laboring in. So you want to make sure that your body can get into whatever optimal position it needs to be in to get your baby out safely and comfortably. Oh, and I also did a lot of walking. You want to walk. You want to get that baby as low as possible before you get into labor. Curbside walking is definitely super, super helpful. Yes, I did have to get induced anyway, but she was also in a really good position before my induction even started. So walk, stretch, get the body right. Make sure your body is good to go and ready for labor. Number 7 is know what you want your birthing experience to be like, okay? So I knew that I wanted my space quiet. I knew that I wanted my space dark. I knew that I wanted a diffuser. I knew that I wanted calming scents, you know? Create in your mind the ambiance or the vibe that you want when you're pushing your little one out. Write it down and make sure that all your birth partner knows when you want to implement each of these details during your birthing experience. Because I didn't really need any of the diffuser and the scents and the darkness until the very end of my labor, around when I had about 3 hours left, when the contractions really kicked up and I needed to calm myself, is when I wanted the peppermint oil, the lavender oil, is when I wanted a massage, when I wanted a rub down, when I wanted it to be really, really quiet. So yeah, know what kind of environment you want to cultivate when you are getting ready to deliver your baby. Number 8 is get comfortable. You want to be in as comfortable position as possible. I know that sometimes when you're in the hospital, it's really hard to get comfortable because people are coming in and out constantly, or maybe the bed may not be the most comfortable, but get as comfortable as you can, because you want to be totally like comfortable and relaxed when it's time to give birth. Number 9 is prepare your partner so that they know how to adequately support you during your labor and delivery. I can't express enough how much my husband helped me get through labor and delivery. Now, no, he didn't do as much research as I did at the very end in terms of labor and delivery, because he's obviously not the one having the baby, so I needed to do more research than him in general. But I definitely put him up on tea of every single thing that I really, really wanted him to know. I circled passages of the books that I was using to prepare myself so that he could go ahead and prepare himself. And I definitely told him, you know, Tamon, don't be asking me a whole bunch of questions while I'm in labor, because I want it to be quiet. I don't really want to answer anything while I'm in pain. I know how I like to deal with pain. And he definitely both gave me my space and supported me in a way that I felt great, and I felt like if anything should happen, he could advocate for me during delivery, because he knew all the information that I wanted him to know in terms of what would happen in case of an emergency, in terms of what I needed from him during delivery. I mean, I was kissing him, I was like rubbing on him. He was there to support me. Some women don't want to be touched. You know, some women don't want to be loved on, and that's fine. But if your partner knows that ahead of time, that may save you from ripping the person's head off during labor and delivery, because they don't know what you're expecting from them. So definitely make sure that your partner, your birth partner, is ready and armed with everything that you want them to do during delivery. Make sure that they know, like, spell it out. This is what I want you to be doing during delivery. This is what I want if I should have to get a C-section, if whatever the case may be. Just make sure that they're also prepared. And number 10, and the final tip that I want you all, so tip number 10, and the last tip, I'm sorry guys, I had to switch cameras, but tip number 10 is to be relaxed and to be confident. Yeah, talk to the people, tell them, be confident that you can do it. Your body knows what she is doing. I refer to my body as she, okay? She is capable. She knows what she is doing, okay? She was made to do this. Your vagina will go back to normal. Do not be fearful of any of that stuff. Don't be fearful of what may or may not happen. Know that you can do it. You don't need pain medication. You're gonna be okay? If you do need pain medication, that's okay. It's okay if your plan changes. Relax. You don't know what is gonna happen. You don't have any control over what's gonna happen. Do not fear the process. Relax and be confident in you. I have confidence in you. I know that you can do it. You can do this. This natural birth is possible, okay? You got it. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that these tips will help you get through your beautiful natural labor. I'm sending lots of love and positivity your way. I hope you have an amazing pregnancy. If you're pregnant and you're watching this, I hope you have me and Sunny hope that you have a beautiful delivery, and I just want to let you guys know that you are loved and you got this, okay? Life is all about adventure. We'll see you guys next time. Oh, make sure you like and subscribe to this video, and share this video with any mamas out there who you know who are getting ready to have a natural birth and who need a little bit more information. Hope you guys found it super duper helpful. Love you guys so much. Peace. All right, come say bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye, because you were just talking up a storm. Bye bye.